I told you not to do no sin no more. I guess they acting like they hear me. 90 days I let a fiend for. If this what you want, you best go beast mode. And she said, baby, I know you legit. Baby, I know you legit. She said, man, like you don't even exist. And I said, UPK made me like this. Bada bing, I pop the least suspect. I start all my crowns, ring and necklace. Do what the men above had taught me. Hey, you say I play too hot, no coffee. I had to change my life like this. Yeah. I'm taking life for what it is. Yeah. Quit acting blind, you need some lenses. Abiding by the damn scriptures. Hey. I told you not to do no sin no more. I guess they acting like they hear me. 90 days I let a fiend for. If this what you want, you best go beast mode. And she said, baby, I know you legit. Baby, I know you legit. She said, man, like you don't even exist. And I said, UPK made me like this. I've been up, I've been up, I've been up, I've been up. I've been up, I've been up, I've been up, I've been up. Quit the fuss, show me love, I need love. Don't wanna leave me, yeah. I'm mixing up my damn problems. I'm mixing out all of that violence. If you with me, we on that fly shit. To all these worldly bastards round us, I say, I told you not to do no sin no more. I guess they acting like they hear me. 90 days I let a fiend for. If this what you want, you best go beast mode. And she said, baby, I know you legit. Baby, I know you legit. She said, man, like you don't even exist. And I said, UPK made me like this.
Virgin, Birmingham you live? Same sides. Okay. Is there where's that Gloucester? Is there enough Jamaicans down there? Huh? Just you two? Just one? Yeah, just the two of you. Really? In Gloucester? I know there's a lot in Bristol and St. Paul's, but Gloucester? Okay, here's me thinking there's only 2 Jamaicans in Gloucester.
Don't pay no fucking man. Don't pay no
No, me know, man, I'll come. I'll come figure it out.
Thank you. So if I finish the motorway and go on, Golden Valley Canyon, now start smelling chicken food.
So what's your area called? What's your...
Treadworth.
And you're all together, or we scattered?
Stroud, Cheltenham, Forest and Dean.
No, I'm just talking about Gloucester. Do you have an area?
My part is in GL1, so you know, that's central Gloucester. Right?
Yeah.
So we spread out all around
Gloucester.
Channel.
You don't have an area, a community, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Central point where
And you live in that community?
Yes.
In the Jamaican community,
yes?
All right.
Not the Indian community. Ready?
Well on.
How you need to drink?
Oh. We're up and running.
Yeah.
Shalom. We are the ISUPK out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the command of General Yohana. And we teach that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, God's chosen people. Okay, so we're gonna salute all the brothers and sisters. Shalom, Yehovah Shim Yoshabrakatah to the brothers, Wa Yoshemai Ladaba Shim Yoshai to all of the sisters. Okay, we're gonna go through what we've got going on in the school in terms of classes, and then we're going to go straight into tonight's class. So Monday night we have the law class, Tuesday we have the brotherhood class, Wednesday we have the history class, Thursday we have the scripture breakdown class, Friday we have the Lashawan Kwadash class, which is the Most High's Holy Tongue. All classes are streamed live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook from 7 till 9 p.m. Okay, that's 1900 hours to 2100 hours live in the school. Our beloved Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are welcome in the door, through the door. And that's what we've got from Monday to Friday. Saturday morning, we've got the Sabbath service from 10 to the 11. Then we hit the concrete for street camp. 1 week in London, Piccadilly Central. The next week in Birmingham Central, outside the Bullring. Okay, that's alternative weeks, and that's street camp from 12 till 5. That's what we've got going on in the school, a lot going on in the school. If you're interested in learning this truth, our beloved Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, then get down to 394 Lodge Road, Hockley, Birmingham. That's the home of the truth, the home of the school, the One West Drop Doctrine, ISUPK, under the command of General Yohana.
That's right.
Okay, we do this out of love, not hatred. Okay, a lot of our people stuck in that Christian church seem to get offended, especially at street camp. We've got the Palestinians rushing our camp. We've got the so-called white man, the Edomites, trying to tear down what we're building up. And that is a strong community for our people. We're working hard on getting our sisters right, not aborting their babies, not being whoremongers. We're working hard on getting our brothers right, true brotherhood and sisterhood, getting our brothers right, getting them off drugs, stopping our brothers selling them one another drugs, hurting them one another, shooting, stabbing, killing each other. This is what we do at the ISUPK. This is biblical brotherhood and sisterhood in the absolute. This is the law class. And tonight's law class is entitled Preparing for the Return of Our King. Now, first we're gonna have a look at that title. Who is our king? Can anybody tell me who our king is?
Yahushua.
That's right, Yahushua in the Hebrew, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. That is our king. So then, if we're waiting for our king, how should we be preparing for the return of our king? How do you think we should be preparing for the return of our king?
Follow the instruction and need to practice the law, statutes, and commandments.
I'll accept that. Is there any more theories or
Together ourselves as a nation.
on how do we prepare ourselves for the return of our king? It's biblical, and we're gonna have a look in the Bible at a few precepts today, of a few scriptures, how we should be preparing for the return of our king, how we should be doing it, what we should be doing. Because okay, so Officer Mozart says keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. If we've got any comments in the audience, type them in the StreamYard. Any questions in class, raise your hand. We'll answer all your classes. Tonight's topic is preparing for the return of our king. Okay, preparing for the return of our king. And that is Hamashiach Yahushua, Jesus the Christ. Okay, so let's get the first precept. It's Proverbs 3 and 5. Just hold it for me, Mozart Barbakashar. Okay, so Proverbs 3 and 5. We'll start with preparing for the return of our king. Preparing for the return of Jesus the Christ. Well, the Christians say, let's have a look at what the religions say first. Let's just depict. We'll have a look at what the denominations, the religions say that our people should be doing or preparing themselves for the return of Christ, and we'll depict that. And then we'll see what our oracles actually say about how we should be preparing for the return of our King, our Lord. Hamashiach Yahushua, Jesus Christ, because the Christians say that you must love all 18 nations. In the book of Genesis, in our records, we know that the Most High created 18 separate nations, okay? And out of that nation came one specific nation that he chose. And that is our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Now, according to our Christian pastors and the Christian church, the right way to prepare yourself for the return of our King is to love and accept all 18 nations.
No.
But guess what? We cannot find that anywhere in our records. That is not in our records. And if there's any Christians out there that would like to type in the StreamYard, they can prove that we have to prepare ourselves for the return of our King by loving and accepting all 18 nations, then we will refute that and debunk it, because it's not in our records. And if you think you can prove it, we'd love to hear your precepts or your proof, your records. Where do they come from? Where did you find them? Your sources. Okay, so if you're Christian, that's what you're taught. That's how we should be preparing. And there's so many of our people in the Christian church and in the Islamic mosque. Islam says you must embrace a prophet that we have absolutely no records of. A prophet that we have, in fact, whole Proverbs 3 and 5. Go to Deuteronomy 18 and 18 for me and read that. The Islam says that Islam says that we must embrace a prophet that we have absolutely no records of in the Bible. Absolutely no records, not one. So how the hell are we supposed to believe or trust in a religion or a doctrine that has absolutely nothing to do with us? And our prophets, the loyal servants of the Most High God, left no records of. The only records they left of the first and the last was Jesus the Christ, Alpha and Omega. And we'll dip into this and we'll prove it. So Deuteronomy, hold on, let's not leave the Rastafarians alone. Rastafarianism. How do they say that we should be preparing for the return of Christ? Well, they say that we have to denounce our inheritance. What is our inheritance?
What?
Rastafarianism says that we must denounce our inheritance. What is our inheritance?
Our inheritance.
Our inheritance is a land of milk and honey, for those of you who don't know, Israel. Now, if you're in the Rastafarian doctrine, they push on our people that you must denounce that and embrace the ideology of a new land that is unknown to us, that we ran into 2,000 years ago and lived there for 1,500 years before we was put on vessels and slave merchant ships and taken to the new transatlantic world, South and Central America and the Caribbean. That is the ancient land of Ham, what we now know today as Africa. So the Rastafarian doctrines teaching that Ethiopia is the new Jerusalem. We have to denounce Israel and come into Ethiopia as an ideology of being the promised land. And once again, just like Islam and Christianity, that is not in our records. It's not in our records. If there's any Rastafarians out there that think they can prove that doctrine, that false fake doctrine, that the New Jerusalem is Ethiopia, and to prepare ourselves for the return of our King, we have to denounce our inheritance and embrace the idea that Africa is our birthplace, our place of origin. I'd love to hear your proof, your precepts, your archaeological proof, your historical proof, and I'll tell you something. We'll debunk and confound you. We'll debunk all your ideology and confound you, because it's not in our records and it's not of the Most High God. That ideology is man-made, strictly man-made. So give me Deuteronomy 18 and 18. Let's have a look at this.
The book of Deuteronomy 18, verse 18. I will raise them up, a prophet from among their brethren.
Raised what?
A prophet from among their brethren.
Read on.
Like unto thee.
Okay, so right here in Deuteronomy 18 and 18, these are the records of Moses, one of God's most loyal servants, saying that the Most High God will raise us up a prophet. Okay, so that debunks Islam straight away. That debunks the doctrine, in the Islamic doctrine, what the Imam pushes on us, our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians up in that mosque. Because Muhammad, they say, was a prophet, who we say was a false prophet. Here, the prophet Moses is recorded that the Most High God will raise us up a prophet. What does the term prophet mean? A prophet, let's see what the prophets did. The prophets uttered something that came to pass at a later date. So if I said tomorrow you're gonna see elephants flying, you'd call me a madman. If you walked out your front door and saw elephants flying, that would be a prophecy, not a very good one. But who could have told me that elephants would fly? I didn't know that myself. Okay, so a prophecy is something that is spoken one day and it comes to pass at a later date. There's no records of this guy, this Ishmaelite they call Muhammad, recording any prophecies. So how the hell was he a prophet? He taught Arabs, which made him a teacher at best. He taught young Arab men a copied doctrine, which came from our records. Okay, so read that again, Deuteronomy 18 and 18, Bob.
No, the book of Deuteronomy 18, verse 18. I'll raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him.
There you go. All that I shall command him. So this is definitely talking about a prophet, an Israelite prophet. Moses was talking about who, Moses? Who is Moses talking about here?
Moses was talking about Christ giving him raising up a prophet from among his brother to speak to his people and not the other nation who desperately want to come into this. And we'll pull any card necessary just to get themselves into this.
That's right. So Moses was talking about Christ in a nutshell. He wasn't talking about Muhammad, but this is what the Imams love to do. The Imams love to say that Deuteronomy 18 and 18 is talking about a fake prophet called Muhammad. And that is not what this is talking about. This is talking about exactly what it says. It's talking about a prophet. Muhammad was never a prophet. Let's jump out of that and go to Revelation. Go to Revelation 21, Baba Kashar. It might be Revelation 12. Give me a second. It's a precept to go with it. Revelation 20, 21, 22. Okay, go to Revelation 22 and 13. Read that, Baba Kashar. Okay, this is proof. This is definitive proof of who Moses is talking about in Deuteronomy 18 and 18. And this completely washes out the Islamic ideology that Moses is talking about an Ishmaelite called Muhammad. Read, Baba Kashar.
The book of Revelation 22, verse 13. I am the Alpha.
I am the who?
I am the Alpha.
I am the who?
Alpha and Omega.
No, just read and stop.
Alpha.
I am the Alpha, the first. Read that from the top all the way through, Baba Kashar.
Book of Revelation 22, verse 13. I am Alpha and Omega.
Okay, so here's Christ saying, this is red writing. Here's Christ saying he's the first and the last. Okay, so how the hell could there be a prophet after Moses if Christ is the last? He's saying he's the Alpha, Adam, the first, and he's the last, Christ, the Omega. Where does Muhammad fit into this? Where the hell does this...
Absolutely.
Where does this Ishmaelite fit into this? It makes no sense. But our people are stuck up in that mosque, learning another fake false doctrine. So Islam and Christianity, the two of them make a one. They're both side by side and married. Okay, as far as we're concerned at ISUPK under the command of General Yana. Read that again, Baba Kashar.
Revelation 22 verse 13. I am the Alpha and the Omega.
Read.
The beginning and the end.
The beginning and the end. There you go. Read on.
The first and the last.
The first and the last. This is red writing. This is Jesus the Christ talking. This is Jesus the Christ being it's him speaking in red writing. So he's the first and the last. Adam and Christ, the last messenger. The first man and the last messenger. That's Jesus the Christ. There's no mention of an Ishmaelite called Muhammad here. So let's jump out of that and go to Proverbs 3 and 5. So let's learn what we're preparing for the return. How do we prepare for the return of our King? How do we prepare for the return of our King? Okay? And this is not complicated. This is not complicated. This is what all our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians should be doing. Then we wouldn't be playing a numbers game, waiting to gather a one-third hopeful and the 144,000 elect. This should be the whole of Israel. But we're so goddamn wicked, we want to stay up in that Christian church, in that Islamic mosque, and in them ridiculous Rastafarian doctrine. Then this is how it's been told it's going to be. This is prophesied. Read that, Baba Kashar.
Proverbs 3 verse 5. Trust in the Lord.
Trust in who?
Trust in the Lord.
No, trust in the Christian church.
Trust in the Lord.
Trust in the Islamic mosque.
No, trust in the Lord.
Trust in the Lord. Read on.
With all thine heart.
With all thine heart. We have these records for a reason. We have these records for a reason. Read on, Baba Kashar.
And lean not unto thine own understanding.
And do what?
Lean not to thine own understanding.
But guess what? I guess you lot in that Christian church and that Islamic mosque, you know better. You certainly know better than we do at the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana. That's why you stay in them denominations. That's why you listen to your ridiculous imam and your pastors, that an Ishmaelite called Muhammad is who we're preparing for the return of. Even though the Islamic doctrine, they call Jesus Christ Isa. They believe that Isa's returning. There is nobody called Isa. He was not an Arab, and he was not a Muslim. And his parents, who were Hebrew, would have never gave him an Arabic name. It's bizarre. Read that again, but you got something for us, Mosa.
I'm saying they know best how to lead you to hell.
There you go. Give that a hand. They know best how to lead us into death and destruction. How about that? Read that again, Baba Kashar.
The book of Proverbs 3 verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding.
We have these records for a reason, Mosa. But I guess the Christians know better. And I guess the Muslims know better and the Rastafarians know better. And that's why we lean to our own understanding. That's why we lean to our own heart. Drop that and get me Matthew 7 and 22. Baba Kashar. Matthew 7 and 22. Because on Judgment Day, everybody's going to be... no one's going to know what's going on Judgment Day. This precept coming up is about the last day. That last day and that last hour. Okay, you got that, Baba Kashar? Read that when you're ready, Baba Kashar.
The book of Matthew 7 verse 22. Many shall say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not preached in thy name?
Okay, so in that last day, we're going to be stuck up in that Christian church, that mosque, in our Rastafarian doctrine, saying to Christ when he returns and we face judgment, we're going to be saying to him, didn't we what? Didn't we what?
Have we not preached in thy name?
Have we not preached in the name of Isa? Have we not preached in the name of Caesar Borgia? Have we not preached in the name of Selassie? Read that again, Baba Kashar.
The
Pure
book of Matthew
confusion.
7 verse 22. Many shall say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have we cast out devils?
Okay, so do you think Isa ever casted out devils? Do you think Caesar Borgia ever casted out devils?
What is that devil himself?
Yeah, there you go. These falsely named fake messengers were devils themselves. Selassie, which demon did he ever cast out? Okay, but you use these people in the name of our Hamashiach, our anointed one. And his real name is Yahushai, according to the Hebrew text and according to our records. So no Christianity, no Islam, and no Rastafarianism. You've got it wrong. And you're taking our people all over the place. You're dancing with our people and you're taking them away from the Most High God in that Christian church, in that mosque, and in your Rastafarian doctrine. It's something that you're taking our people into death and destruction. But there's salvation for our people right here. There's a king that's coming back to save our people. And right now we should be preparing ourselves for the return of our king, not stuck up in these denominations and religions that's destroying our people and destroying our nation. You see that, Moses? Read that again, Baba Kashar.
The book of Matthew 7 verse 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have we cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works.
How vain are these religions to think that they're doing the real works when they've made this up themselves? Muhammad, Constantine, and who do we know who brought about Rastafarianism? Someone said there's no sound.
One said there's no sound, and the other said the sound is far.
Ring Captain Karathia. Go on your phone on YouTube and see if you can hear me, Mozart. Yeah, go on your phone on YouTube, see if you can hear me.
Can you hear it now?
Okay.
Just type in that. I'm going to go for YouTube.
I'll ring the captain. So if we've got no sound out there, can you if you can hear me, can you just type in Salakia, sir? I don't think there's no sound. Cada one can. Go on. Okay, Salakia for that. Let's carry on with the class. Let's continue. Where with them, Mozart?
We have Matthew 7 verse 22.
Can't read that for me, Baba Kashar. Again.
The book of Matthew 7 verse 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works.
There you go. And get me Matthew 13 and 24. So on Judgment Day, you will be confused because you follow Christianity, Islam, and Rastafarianism, but you never once followed the Most High God. You never kept his laws, so he never knew you. Do we read the next? Read 7 and 22 again one more time, Baba Kashar.
The book of Matthew 7 verse 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name have done many wonderful works?
And there you go. And there you go. So if you're prophesying in the name of Selassie, in the name of Muhammad, in the name of Caesar Borgia, how the hell does Hamashiach Yahushai, the real King of all kings, the real King and Savior, the real Lord of the 12 tribes of Israel, how is he going to know you? Let's get it in Matthew 13 and 24. How the hell is he going to know you? You see what you're doing to our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in that Christian church and in these religions. Okay, they've got the chance in the ISUPK to hear this and know this, and you're teaching them about Caesar Borgia. In the mosque, you're teaching them about Muhammad. You're teaching them about false prophets that don't exist and whom there are no records of by the Most High God's loyal servants. No records of Selassie. No records of him ever prophesying, neither Caesar Borgia. These guys were just demons. They were the devils the Bible speaks of. Nothing to do with the Most High God. They wasn't even of an inheritance of the bloodline of Israel. None of them. One was an Edomite, one was a Hamite, and the other was a goddamn Ishmaelite. What the hell have they got to do with our people, our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? Absolutely nada. No records of these fake prophets. No records of them whatsoever. Matthew 13 and 24. This is a parable from Christ. This is red writing.
Oh God. The book of Matthew 13 verse 24. And another parable put ye forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man which sowed good seed in his field.
Okay, so this is a parable from Christ, Hamashiach Yahushai. What is produced from a good seed?
Good fruits.
Good fruits. So what comes from a good seed is good fruits. Read that again, Baba Kashar.
Matthew 13 verse 24. And another parable put ye forward unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man which sowed good seed in his field.
Okay, and we know that good fruits come from good seed. Who's the good fruits? According to Christ, the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the good seeds, our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Good fruits. We are the good fruits. This parable is an insight to how we should be preparing for the return of our King. How we should be preparing for the return of our King. And if we considered the future and the return of Christ, then we'd be doing the right things. And what are the right things?
Brotherly love, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments.
Keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. Guess what? If you're serious about preparing for the return of Christ, if you're serious about preparing for the return of our King, then live like Christ's life mattered. You understand that, Mozart? Live your life like Christ's life 2,000 years ago mattered and meant something. There's too many of us at the moment stuck up in that Christian church, living like his life didn't matter, worshipping Caesar Borgia, tattooing on our bodies a Caesar Borgia, a fake messenger and a fake prophet. He's not the Son of Man. He's the devil the Bible talks of, painted by Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. These guys depicted and whitewashed all the real icons of Israel, all the real prophets, Moses, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Obadiah, Zephaniah, Jesus Christ, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. All the apostles and the prophets, the people that gave us our records. They've been depicted by Michelangelo as Europeans, as Caucasians, and that is not in our records. So if you're serious about returning, if you're serious about preparing for the return of Christ, then live like his life mattered. Worship, do as he said and him alone, not as Caesar Borgia, not as Caesar Borgia said in the church, not as Muhammad said in the mosque, and not as Selassie said coming from our Rastafarian elders. Okay, it's nonsense, and it's not of our records. Remember, we have our records for a reason. Yeah, this is the King James Version, 1611. Okay, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, or is life and death. Listen, if you don't keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, guess what, Mozart? Christ's life was in vain. His life and his death, his sacrifice was in vain. If you're not honoring how he said we should be living, then you're not taking his life seriously. Do you know how disrespectful that is? And you deserve everything that you've got coming, Israel. You deserve everything. It's like spitting in our king's face. And believe you me, you don't want to be caught doing that. Not to the King of all kings, not Hamashiach Yahushai, not the anointed one. Because there's going to be a hell and a worry when he comes back. Believe you me. He's not coming back to give everybody a cuddle and have tea and cakes with grandma in the back garden with the best china, like you hear up in the Christian church, and tell everybody it's going to be all right in the morning. Christ is coming back with a double-edged sword, and he's coming back to serve vengeance, the Most High God's vengeance, his father's and our father's vengeance. And he's going to be serving it in this wicked ass kingdom. You got something for us, Mozart?
I was going to read Deuteronomy 32, verse 17.
Okay, read it. Do
Deuteronomy
you want to break it down?
32:17. It says, sacrifice unto devils, not to God, gods whom they know not, even to new gods that come newly up, whom your father feared not. So these idols that they're bringing in, persuading us to worship Muhammad, Krishna, Rastafari, and Selassie, all of these rubbish are reading all these books of the philosophies of fools, confusing themselves even more. Our father did not know those gods, and we did not fear them anyway. So they're coming to brainwash you in a time when knowledge is increased, and you shall sit down and realize that your heritage, everybody wants a piece of it, but yet still, you still fall asleep in the Christian church.
That's so heavy, and there was so many fake gods, so many idols, Baal, Thor, Zeus, Ares. The list is endless, and we got caught up in this. We wasn't worshiping the Most High God. We wasn't preparing for the return of Christ after these times. And within the last 2,000 years, we've gone from devil to devil to devil, worshiping pure devils and demons, Christianity, Islam, Rastafarianism, Jah, Allah, Jehovah. No records of these fake gods. We're worshiping devils, like you just said. So appreciate that, Officer Mozart. Deuteronomy 32 and 17. Okay, give me Matthew 13 and 24 again, Bob Kushar.
Okay. The book of Matthew 13, verse 24.
And remember, this is how we should be preparing for the return of our King. Read.
Okay. The book of Matthew 13, verse 24. Another parable put ye forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man which soweth good seed in his field.
Okay, and that good seed is the good fruit, and that's Israel, our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, and we should bear this in mind. We should bear this in mind, because if we want to be that good fruit, we'd be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Remember, this is a law class, and the law says if you're keeping the law, you're preparing yourself correctly. You're preparing yourself in the right way. You're deemed as a righteous man. And you know, these laws are not for the righteous. These laws, we're not talking to the priests and prophets, the Akyam wa Akwathyam, the brothers and sisters in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana. This class is, yes, for the students belonging or in the ISUPK, but it's for the lost sheep in that Christian church, the lost sheep in that Islamic mosque, and the lost sheep in them ridiculous Rastafarian doctrine, because you need this. You need this truth. You understand? You need to come out of them religions, them denominations, and start preparing correctly the right way, the righteous way for the return of our King. Give me Titus 2:11, Baba Kashar. Let me just check. You got something for us?
The book of Matthew 24, verse 11. And many false prophets.
Hold on. Is it what are you doing? Is this? What's this?
Yes,
Can't. Yeah, read.
The book of Matthew 24, verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise up.
Many what?
Many false prophets shall rise up.
Read.
And shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
There you go.
So you see the problem when you're in those church. Remember, in the mosque they said you can be a part of our religion, but we don't want to be your friends. So how can I be a part of your religion, but I cannot be a friend? In the ISUPK, once you're a part of our heritage, you are our brother, you are our friend, you are our everything.
Come on.
Right?
Come on.
So tell me now, is that a house divided? You want to make up numbers, but there's no love in it.
Read that again.
The book of Matthew 24, verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Okay, so there's no brotherhood there. There's no sisterhood. And this is the second most important law. We've got 613 law, minus the sacrificial laws. Remember, Christ was the ultimate sacrifice. So we've got, I'm not sure the exact number, we've got an abundance of sacrificial laws that we do not keep nowadays, because the Most High God knew that we'd be scattered. And if you live on a council estate in the UK, there's no way you can keep sheep, lamb, oxen, chicken in your back garden. The sacrificial laws could never have been kept in this wicked kingdom in these last days. And this is why Christ was the ultimate sacrifice. Okay? The Most High knew that sacrificing a lamb wasn't good enough for us. We could not abide by his laws by just keep throwing an unblemished lamb or our best goat at the altar for a sacrifice. Do you understand this? So we couldn't keep the law by making sacrifice on top of sacrifice. So Christ came and became the ultimate sacrifice for our sins. And this is how we return him. This is how we return his love. This is how we prepare for his return, by staying up in that Christian church, calling him Caesar Borgia, taking away his melanation and calling him a goddamn albino look-alike. Do you understand? It's just beyond me. Or an Ishmaelite called Muhammad, or a Hamite called Selassie. That is not the anointed. None of them are the anointed one. There is one anointed one, the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, and that is Yahushua, the son of Mary and Joseph. Okay, and we've been taught this since 1969, the One West doctrine, and for decades we've been taught this by General Yohana, the head of the ISUPK. This is the one true doctrine. And you know, this is why we don't listen to the other fake Israelite groups, because they haven't got this doctrine right. They haven't got They're not sure who Hamashiach Yahushai is. We are though. They might as well be pushing Caesar Borgia and Muhammad. Some of the stuff that they teach on the concrete and in class, they might as well be pushing Selassie because they haven't got it right. Okay, Titus 2:11. Read that for me, Baba Kashar.
Okay. The book of Titus 2 verse 11. For grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men.
Okay, so for the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men. This is not the 18 nations that the Most High created. This is all men from a specific nation, Israel. Read that again, Baba Kashar.
Okay. The book of Titus 2 verse 11. For the grace of God that bringeth forth salvation hath appeared to all men.
Okay, so grace brings salvation to all righteous Israelites. Not Israelites in that Christian church and in the mosque. The Israelites in the ISUPK, the priests and the prophets in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana. Bear that in mind. Read on. Verse 12, Baba Kashar.
Verse 12. Teach us.
Teaching.
Oh, sorry. Teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. Okay, so denying wicked things and living righteously, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments in this wicked ass kingdom. This is how we prepare ourselves for the return of our King. This is how we prepare ourselves for the return of Christ. Does everybody understand this? Yeah. Any questions in class? Just raise your hand. If you're not sure about something, just ask. Okay. If you've got any questions in the audience, type them into the StreamYard. Baba Kashar, we'll get to your questions. Okay, read on verse 13, Baba Kashar. Verse 13. Looking for the blessed hope and the glorious appearing of the great God and our Savior, Jesus Christ.
There you go. Looking for that blessed hope, having patience. Something we haven't got in that church. Something we haven't got in these religions. Do you know, I hear our people, even in these fake Israelite groups and camps, Mozart, I've heard Israelites talking absolute nonsense about, I've been in the truth 15 years. How am I going to see this in my life? Who the hell are you to question the Most High God? Who are you to question the Creator's works? When he's ready, when the time is right, and we know the time is nigh, we know the time is near because of the prophecies and the time we're living in. Yeah, but it's not for you to know, and it's not for you to be questioning the Most High God. And that's how we know you're fake Israelites. You might as well be in that Christian church or in that Islamic mosque, because in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana, guess what? We are the one way that the way we prepare for the return of our King is we have patience. We don't ask dumb ass questions about when is he coming. Is he going to come in my lifetime? That's vanity to think that he's going to come before you die. Because if you're in the grave when he comes back, you're going to get risen up first before the Israelites in the UPK, the priests and prophets of the Most High God, before we or they even get raised up. Do you understand that? The people that are in the ground are going to get raised up first, and we're going to see this happening. And guess what? We're not going to be amazed because we're in the truth. We're in the home of the truth. This is what we're preparing for. This is what we're ready for. You're not ready for this in the Christian church. You're not prepared for this in the Islamic mosque. And you're certainly not ready for it in your Rastafarian doctrine. You got something, Moza?
Ira Banyamian is asking a question.
Ira,
yeah.
Holland.
Yeah.
Come on. Finish Titus, Salakia. Finish Titus and we'll go into his question.
Okay. The book of Titus 2, verse 30 we're going to go. Looking for the blessed hope and the glory appearing of, and the glorious appearing of the great God and our Savior Jesus Christ. Verse 14.
No. You've done it at 13. You can go and grab Mark 13 and 29. But just let me break that down, that verse 13. So we're looking for that blessed hope, having patience for the return of our glorious King, Hamashiach Yahushai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This is how we prepare for the return of Christ according to our records. Okay, this is how we prepare, by being patient. Okay, if you don't have the patience, you're not going to make it. So you've not only got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, there's virtues that you must keep. Like this is what we keep in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana. We wait patiently. We don't question the Most High God every day. We don't test him and tempt him like you fake Israelites do that are getting impatient. We don't do that in the UPK. We've not been taught to do that under the command of General Yohana. We've been taught patience. You understand that? We've been taught patience. Okay, drop that and get me Matthew 13. No, Mark. Get me Mark 13. I think it's verse 29. Mark, it's about fulfilling a prophecy. 29. So ye in like manner these things come. Yeah. It's verse 29, Baba Kashar.
13:29.
Correct.
13 verse 29.
Hold on. Do you want to get Ira's question first?
Ira question. Okay. Salakia, sir, if I may. No, if I may know the verse of phrase. Yes, which Israel say is many nation. Read it again.
Like you said, if I may, you know the verse
Israel is many nation.
Precept where it say Israel is many nation. Oh, he's talking about Israel is many nation. But what's your question, Ira? What do you want to know about the precept? While we're waiting for his full question, go to Mark 13 and 29. Let's wait for Ira to come back to us. Mark 13 and 29. Read that, Baba Kashar.
Okay. The book of Mark 13:29. So ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the door.
Okay, so ye in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, though know that it is nigh, it is near, even at the doors. Which doors? The doors to this wicked kingdom, because this is where Hamashiach's coming back. And guess what? He's coming back with that double-edged sword. This is Mark, one of the apostles, prophesying. This is a prophecy. This is a 2,000-year prophecy. When prophecy is fulfilled and all work in this kingdom is done, know that you are prepared well. Know that you are prepared well. Know that you've been patient. You've kept the law, statutes, and commandments. You've been a righteous brother. You've embraced brotherhood, sisterhood. You've done all things according to how Yahushai taught us 2,000 years ago. And you've kept your house in order. And you've loved your people. And you've loved the Lord thy God with all your heart and soul. This is preparing yourself for the return of our King. There is no other way. Yahweh alone knows that. Salakia, the last hour, Yahweh alone knows that. So questioning and being impatient, it's not for you. Read that again, Baba Kashar.
Okay. Book of Mark 13, verse 29. So he in like manner, when ye shall see these things come to pass, know that it is nigh, even at the doors.
Even at the doors. This is a prophecy. This is the last day and the last hour. And we know how we should be preparing now, because it's a law. It's the laws that we must be keeping. It's patience we must have. We must be right in all things that we do to be righteous. This is the only way we prepare ourselves for the return of our King. Okay? Not sitting up in the church waiting for Caesar Borgia. Not sat up in the mosque waiting for an Ishmaelite that we have no damn records about or of. And where the hell does the Hamite, Selassie, the Cushite fit into all this? Don't you think that the Most High God would have let us know that he changed his mind and gone outside of the nation of Israel in his records if he had indeed done that? It's just beyond, it's beyond us in the ISUPK under the command of General Hannah where this nonsense has come from. But we know from Psalms 83 there's been a tumult. There's conspiracy amongst these nations to keep us at the bottom. To keep us at the bottom. Okay. Prepare yourself well, Israel, because this is happening. This is happening right now, and it's not going to go away tomorrow, even though tomorrow's not promised. Our King is coming back. You've got to prepare yourself for the return of our King. Okay? Prepare yourself well. This is happening, and there's nothing Esau or any of these other nations can do to stop it. Guess what? They'd like to stop it. Oh, yeah. They'd like to stop the return of our King, and they're trying to come up with imaginative ideas every day how they can combat the return of our King. But guess what? There's absolutely nothing Esau or Ishmael or Elam or Moab or Ham can do to stop the return of our King. This is going down, and it's happening. There's nothing any of them can do to stop this. They can build as many bunkers 2 miles down in the earth. They can make as many nuclear weapons as they want. They're not going to stop the return of our King and his band of army, the angels. They're not going to do it. You got something for us, Mozart?
Even when they bring up their 6 hand image to worship, that Krishna who got 6 hands, it still won't help them.
Say that again, loud and clear.
Even when they bring up Krishna, their 6 hand idols, it still can't help them.
Still can't help them. Still can't help them. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 15, chapter 15. Let's have a look where we go.
Ira still come back into the chat again. Where can I find it in the Bible? I say they break down and once, but I don't remember where I can find it in the Bible. I hope you know.
Okay, Ira, when we come off class at 9 o'clock, I'll get your phone number off Captain Crathier. I'll send you the precept. If that's okay, just give us a con in the StreamYard, in the chat. Baba Kashar. Give me 1 Corinthians 15 and 52. Baba Kashar. Okay, so preparing for the return of our King. Our King and our Savior, Jesus the Christ. Hamashiach Yahushai in the Hebrew. Okay? This is what we have to do to prepare ourselves. Okay, and we're told time and time again in our records what we need to do to prepare ourselves for the return of our King. And the law, statutes, and commandments is what we should be. That's the foundation. If you're not keeping these laws, forget it. If you're not keeping these laws, forget it. But there's other things like patience, humbleness, meekness, righteousness, okay, treating each other how we should be, and that's a law. Treating your brother, your brethren, how you would treat and deal with yourself. Okay, there's so many things. There's so many laws we should be doing, and we've got to remember. But this is a study. Remember, you can't stay in these fake Israelite groups and expect to be getting this right. Because if you're in one of these fake Israelite groups, you might as well be in the Christian church or the mosque. Okay? Have you got the precept?
No, I can't. The book of 1 Corinthians 15, verse 52. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall rise. Incorruptible, we shall be changed.
Okay, so this is what we're preparing for. We're preparing for the return of them UFOs, them crafts that we're going to see emerge from out of the sky, out of the clouds. And we're going to be risen up and we're going to go into these crafts for a physical change before we come back. Okay, this is what we're preparing for. And you've got to be keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments to even be considered for this. You've got to have patience to even be considered for this. This is how we prepare ourselves for the return of our King. And this is a law class, so we push the law every Monday. Every Monday we're pushing some kind of law from the first 5 books, which is the records of Moses, our records. And if you're not keeping the law, forget it. This is not for you. Go and join one of them fake Israelite groups. Stay in your Christian church or your Islamic mosque. This is not for you. If you cannot keep these damn laws, statutes, and commandments, it's as simple as that. Point blank and period. That final hour when we get pulled up into them UFOs, into them crafts, and go through that physical change. When we come back, we're going to be extraordinary men. We're going to be an extraordinary people and an extraordinary nation like nothing you've ever seen before. And these heathen are going to be confused and amazed. Does everybody in class understand this? Is there any questions?
No questions. That's what I want.
Okay, get me Baruch. Get me Baruch 1-1, Baba Kashar. Let's go in the Apocrypha, because this is a killer to Christianity. These are the same clowns that removed the 14 hidden books from the Bible. In fact, let's get a definition of why they took the Apocrypha out of the Bible. Okay, actually, get me Baruch 1-1 first. You got that? Have we got an Apocrypha? No, but can you pass me the Apocrypha before we start? Might be one up there. Mozart, show. Okay, so there is a definition in Wikipedia of why the Apocrypha was removed from the Bible. And yeah, I've read the reason why they're saying. First of all, remember it was 2 Edomites that founded Wikipedia, and we've got the names of the 2 Edomites here. So anything that came from Esau, like in Job 9:24, the world was handed into the wicked. We cannot put our trust in anything that Esau has given us and told us is gospel, or given it as a fact or the truth, because they're the ones that gave us Christianity in the first place. Is a slave doctrine, and that originates from Constantine, 300 AD. So the two founders of Wikipedia are Larry Sanger and Jimmy Wales, two sons of Esau, 2 Edomites. Okay, so get Baruch 1-1. Read that for me, Baba Kashar, and we're going to see why they removed the 14 hidden books from the Bible. Because these 14 hidden books break down perfectly who we are as a people and what we stand for, and who the real God is, and who the real King is, and what we must be doing to prepare ourselves for the return of our King that will come about one day. Like I said, there's nothing that Esau or any of these nations can do to stop this. Absolutely nothing. It's going down, and that's that. Period. Okay, so read that for me, Baba Kashar.
The book of Baruch 1, verse 1. And those are the words of the book which Baruch, the son of Neriah, the son of Messiah.
No, Salakia. Baruch 4:1. Salakia. My bad.
The book of Baruch 4 verse 1.
Hold on. Let me just catch up with you, Baba Kashar. Salakia. Yeah, read that, Baba Kashar.
The book of Baruch 4 verse 1. This is the book of the commandments
This is
of
what?
God. This is the book of the commandments of God.
This is the book of the commandments of the Most High God, Yahweh in the Hebrew, his real name. Read.
And the laws that endure it forever.
The laws that do what?
Endure it forever.
These laws don't end, they don't finish. How would we prepare ourselves for the return of our King if the laws were done away with, like we learn in the Christian church? Read on. All they that keep.
Forever. All they that keep it shall come to life.
All they that what?
Keep it shall come to life.
All they that keep this law shall come to life. You've got to be alive and know this law to prepare yourself for the return of our King. Read.
But such as leave it shall die.
If you leave the UPK and go to another fake Israelite group, you might as well be the same as Zechariah 13:8, one of the 2/3. All who leave it shall die. This is not talking about a physical death. This is metaphorical. This is, you're walking around like a goddamn zombie. You might as well be a mummy. If you're not in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana, you're not in the truth. You might as well be a walking zombie, a walking dead. Like all our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in the Christian church, in the mosque, in them Rastafarian doctrine, walking mummies, zombies. You've got no idea what's going on. You think Christ is Caesar Borgia. You think Christ is an Arab, an Ishmaelite Arab called Muhammad. You think the real Christ, the real Hamashiach, is a goddamn filthy Hamite called Selassie. Read on, Baba Kashar.
Verse 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
There you go. Thou mayest be illuminated. Lawbreakers are in the dark. Law keepers are illuminated, are in the light. Read on. Verse 3.
Verse 3. Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a stranger.
There you go.
Nation,
there you go. A strange nation. So there you go. It's right here. It's right here in Baruch 4:3. What's profitable to us? Can anybody answer what is profitable to our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the 12 tribes of Israel? What is profitable to us?
Keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments.
Keeping the laws, our records. Our records are profitable because where do we find that these laws, statutes, and commandments? In our records. These are our records. These are our records, and there's 14 hidden books which are records which they didn't want you to find out about. They didn't want you to read this. They certainly didn't want you to know the context of it. Read on, Baba Kashar.
Verse 4. O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us.
There you go. There you go. Self-explanatory. We should only take part in the things that are pleasing to the Most High God, our Creator. We should only take part in the things that are pleasing. And what are them things? Like keeping his holy convocations, keeping his dietary law. What else? loving our one another as we love ourselves. And above all, what's number one? What's the number one thing we should be doing to prepare ourselves for the return of Christ that is pleasing to the Most High God? Keeping no other gods, no idols, no fake gods. Are we all clear on this? Read verse 4 one more time, Baba Kishore.
The book of Baruch 4 verse 4?
Yeah, 4 of 4.
The book of Baruch 4 verse 4. O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us.
It's a done deal, Moses. It's a done deal. Okay, the things that are pleasing to the Most High God, Yahweh, are what? The laws, statutes, and commandments. And most of all, above all, is loving him with all thine heart. This is how we prepare ourselves for the return of our King. There is no other way. And we must do this in all earnesty and honesty, in all humbleness. We can't be rushing it. You can't tell God to put his finger out and get a move on. What the hell? You're going to get yourself destroyed. That's what we're doing up in the Christian church. That's what some of these fake Israelite groups are doing. They're standing around talking nonsense about they've been in the truth 10 years. They're getting impatient. They've been in the truth 20 years. When's God going to unleash fire and fury in this wicked kingdom? That's not your business. Keep to your business. What is your business? Preparing yourself for the return of our King. Where's your humbleness and your meekness?
What's going on you doing there because you're worshiping idols?
Worshipping idols. And we cannot discount or let off the hook the fake Israelite groups, because they're no different to the Christian and the Christian pastors. Some of these guys that are leading these Israelite groups are Christian pastors. Period. Now let's have a look at why they took. Why do you think they took the Apocrypha out of the Bible? Does anybody know? The Apocrypha is ancient Latin for the hidden books. Okay, there's 14 scrolls in this book, in the Apocrypha, which means they took out 14 books out of the Apocrypha. Why would they do that? The obvious reason is because it's so obvious who the Hebrew Israelites are, and they would never have been able to hide it from us, even coming out of slavery for the last 175 years. So why did they take this book out of the Bible? And if I give you their Wikipedia definition, you will cry. You will cry. You'll fall off your seat with laughter, because it's just some joke. It's some made up joke. Let's get it. Let's read it. Okay, so Wikipedia. This is their definition of why the Apocrypha was taken out of the Bible. Remember, today you can get the King James Version 1611 with the Apocrypha in it already. Remember that. Okay, they reasoned that not printing the Apocrypha within the Bible would prove to be less costly to produce. Can you believe that, Mozart? Since that time, most modern editions of the Bible and reprintings of the King James Bible omit the Apocrypha section. What does omit mean? When you omit something, what do you do?
Omit. Take it away. Take it out.
O-M-I-T, to remove. Yeah, correct. Okay, so let me give you that definition. This is what Wikipedia is saying, that Christianity or the Vatican, the Roman Catholics, removed the Apocrypha. This is their reason or their excuse, whichever way you want to look at it. They reasoned that not printing the Apocrypha within the Bible would prove to be less costly to produce. Are you kidding me? The Vatican is one of the richest organizations in the world. And they wanted to produce a Bible minor 14 books to cut costs, to budget. Are you kidding me?
That's
Is this some kind of joke?
Well, you can produce 66 books, but it's more expensive to produce 14.
So you saved billions and billions of pounds. You Roman Catholic, the Roman Catholic Church saved billions and billions of pounds by not having to print the whole of the Bible, all 80 scrolls. You saved billions and billions of finances by removing 14 scrolls, 14 books. Are you kidding me? Is this some sick joke? Is this some sick joke? Let's get it again. Why was the Apocrypha removed from the KJV, which is abbreviated for of the King James Version? They reasoned that not printing the Apocrypha within the Bible would prove to be less costly to produce. That is just ridiculous and bizarre. Nobody believes that. Not even the people that wanted to believe it and used to believe it. That's hard to stomach and hard to believe nowadays, especially in these last days as the truth is coming out, and more young Black, Hispanic and Native Indians and elderlies are joining the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana, the home of the truth. Okay, so we refute that. We refute that definition, that ideology, whatever that excuse. It's a lie. It's a damn lie. And it's nothing to do with the real reason why they removed the Apocrypha. But as the priests and prophets at the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana, we know why they removed the Apocrypha. We know why they removed it. And that's because the Apocrypha tells you exactly who we are. The Apocrypha teaches you exactly. It's too obvious for them to have left it. It's too obvious for our people for them to have left it alone. And that's why they've played with our records. But guess what? We've got all 80 books. And we subscribe and trust in all 80 books. Okay, they are all the word, the oracles of the Most High God, and there's nothing you can do to change that. There's not the Vatican, not Christianity, not Islam, not Rastafarianism. There's nothing you can do to change that. We know how to prepare ourselves for the return of our King. You got something for us, Mozart?
I think they said the same thing about the Revelation. The Vatican wanted to take Revelation out of the Bible, but it would be a little too obvious because there's so much of the Revelation that mentioned in other books, which they would keep in the Bible.
Okay.
So it would give them a hard time getting the Revelation.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they wanted to take Revelation.
Okay, Khan. Get me Colossians 1 and 10, Babakasha. Yeah, so now we know how we should be preparing for the return of our King. And that's keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments in a whole humbleness and meekness and having patience while we're doing it. Because the race, like they say, the race is not for the swift. The race is for who can endure it. And who can endure it? The priests and the prophets of the Most High God in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana, because we have patience. We're not questioning the Most High on a daily, like you do up in that Christian church. We're not getting restless. We know what's coming and we know it's going to happen. It's going down. There's nothing you other nations can do to stop it. We're preparing ourselves righteously for the return of our King. And this is what we will teach, and this is what we will push in the law class and every other class in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana. Salakia, you got that? First Colossians.
The book of First Colossians 1 verse 10. That ye might walk worthy of the Lord, unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good works, and increasing the knowledge of God.
Read that again, Baba Kasha.
Colossians 1 verse 10, that he might walk worthy of the word of the Lord, unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good works, and increasing in the knowledge of God.
Okay, so there you go. Pleasing the Most High God is preparing for what's to come. And that's the return of our King, Hamashiach Yahushai, Jesus the Christ. Read that again, Baba Kasha.
Colossians 1 verse 10, that he might walk worthy of the Lord, unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good works, and increasing in the knowledge of God.
Okay, so you have to build from the get-go. When you walk through these doors into the ISUPK, you have to start from scratch. You're reborn. You go through a circumcision of the heart, like what Christ talked about in the gospel, in the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And if you're not prepared to do that, this is not for you. Okay, we've got 21-year-old officers in the ISUPK, and we've got 50-year-old officers. Guess what? The 50-year-old officers, some of them have learned from the 21-year-old officers who are older than the 50-year-old officers in this truth.
That's right.
Okay, only in the world would a 50-year-old man be considered older or know more or more knowledgeable than a 21-year-old young man. But not in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana, not in the oracles of the Most High God, not in our records. You can be 21 and you can be older than a 50-year-old man in this truth. Okay, you can be better than that 50-year-old man in this truth. If you are a righteous brother and you've been in this truth longer and you know more and you've studied harder. Are we all aware of this, and do we all understand this? Because this is in our records. This is how Israel has always been and will always be, even in the new kingdom. Nothing's going to change. You're not going to get stature because of age. That's a worldly thing. That's a manly thing. That's nothing to do with our records. That's nothing to do with the oracles of the Most High God. Read that again, Baba Kasha.
The book of 1 Colossians 1 verse 10, that he might walk worthy of the Lord, and walk pleasing, and all pleasing, being fruitful in every good works, and increasing in the knowledge of God.
There you go. Pleasing the Lord is preparing for what's to come, and that's the return of our King. Good work is keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. Keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God. There's no other way around this. This is how we prepare ourselves for the return of our King. Point blank and period. Drop that. Get me Hebrews 9 and 28, Baba Kasha. Hebrews 9 and 28. This is not a compromise. You can't decide yourself in your own heart how you're going to prepare for the return of God. You can't stand up in that Christian church banging a tambourine, holding hands with the heathen, singing hallelujah and kumbaya, and expect that you're going to get dealt with. You are going to get dealt with, but not how you expect. And that's why you're going to be confused and amazed in the last days, in the last day, in the last hour. How you think this is going to go down in that Christian church? It's not going down like that. We employ our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to get out of that church before it's too late. We implore you. Okay, we do this out of love. We don't do this because we hate you. We see you up in that Christian church and we cry for you. We cry for you because you are lost and confused and you're wicked as hell.
That's right.
Wicked as hell. Hebrews
9 verse
Salakia,
28.
let me get there. Salakia. Yeah, go on, read that, Bob.
The book of Hebrews 9 verse 28. So Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many.
Christ was what?
Once offered to bear the sins of many.
Christ was once offered to bear the sins for many or of many?
Of many.
Of many. Okay, so listen, he died to redeem you. This is a grace period. Use this grace period to prepare yourself righteously, to prepare yourself without vanity, to prepare yourself keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments with patience for the return of our King and our Lord, our Master, Hamashiach Yahushai.
That's right.
Period. Read that again, Baba Kasha.
Hebrews 9 verse 28. So Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation.
There you go. And who are those that are looking for him?
The 12 tribes of Israel.
Those who are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. And where will you find them, men and sisters?
In the ISUPK.
You will find them, brothers and sisters, in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana. You're not going to find them in the church, in the mosque, or in Rastafarianism. You're just not going to find us there, because we're not in there. We're invisible in the mosque. We're invisible in the church. We're invisible in your Rastafarianism. We're going to be invisible when our King returns if we're caught in them mosques, and you're going to get dealt with. Even though you're invisible, you're going to seek you're going to seek help. You're going to seek salvation. You're going to seek being saved from our King, and you're not. You're going to be put to death. You're going to be judged.
That's right.
You face destruction up in these religions, in these denominations, because Christ doesn't know you. Christ isn't coming back for you. If you continue to stay in these vain denominations, you are going to get dealt with, but not how you want to be dealt with. You're going to be dealt with in a way that you couldn't fathom or understand or believe, because you've been duped by your pastor, and now you won't hearken and listen to the priests and prophets of the Most High God. Read that again, Baba Kasha.
Okay. The book of Hebrews 9 verse 28. So Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation.
Okay, and those that keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, that's whom our King shall return for the second time to save. Nobody else. You do not fall into the fraction of the 1/3 hopeful or the 144,000 elect. You face death and destruction up in that church and that mosque. There's no other plain and simple way we can put this. This is what our records say. This isn't what we say. This has been recorded. This has been recorded for a reason, so that we can pass this on to you. It's up to you whether you hearken. It's up to you whether you listen. It's up to you whether you act. It's up to you whether you bring yourself out of these denominations, these religions, and start to prepare yourself for the return of our King, because you're not doing it at the moment. You're not doing it. You're lost, and you only think you're preparing yourself for the return of Christ. Why the hell can anybody show me in our records where holding hands with the other 17 nations, banging a tambourine and singing hallelujah on a Sunday morning, where the hell is that recorded in our records to prepare yourself for the return of our King? Have we had one comment in the StreamYard, Mozart, of any Christians coming in and with their views on this? Not one. But how many of our people are stuck up in that Christian church? How many of our people are viewing this tonight? And I've got absolutely nothing to say. You got something for us, Mozart?
Okay, you see,
Salakia, how many of our people are in Christianity and have still got nothing to say in the StreamYard? Salakia.
See, Lord, those on the streams, Lord, they are that they would never answer that question illiterately. because they are so learned that they know that's nowhere in the Bible.
Exactly.
Even those online who are well learned know that it's not possible.
The pastors, the reverends, the vicars. What do they call themselves in the Catholic Church? But I've never met a priests, fake priests. But you ever seen a so-called black Hispanic, actually a Hispanic, yes. Have you ever seen a so-called black priest?
Yeah.
Roman Catholic priest?
Yes, he's the head of the white priest.
Khan.
Yes, if you check out the history, because I was doing history, and I see the black pope is the head of it.
The black who?
Pope.
Pope. Mm-hmm. Who's that?
He's the head of most of the one you say.
Khan.
Beneath him. But he don't come up front, he's standing background, because he's the head of it, so they follow what he says. It's
just bizarre how people stuck up in these religions, in these churches. The time's drawing near, and yes, we don't know the last day or the hour. We're going to have a look at it now. In fact, read that again one last time, Baba Kashar, then we'll move on.
Hebrews 9 verse 28. So Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation. Okay,
drop that. Get me Revelation 22 and 12. So Hebrews 9 and 28, he died to redeem us, our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, to get you out of that goddamn church and that mosque and get you in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana. 394 Lodge Road, Hockley, Birmingham, UK. If you're from the UK, if you're from the West Midlands, East Midlands, you should be in here. If you're so-called black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, this is where you should be, the home of the truth. You shouldn't be in that Christian church, and you shouldn't be in that mosque. You're condemning yourself. You're facing death and destruction. And that's what it's saying right here in Hebrews 9 and 28. He didn't die to redeem you. He died to redeem the people that are preparing themselves for his return, the return of our King. And that's the priests and prophets of the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana. There you go. And we've got schools all around the world. America, South and Central America, the Caribbean, numerous islands in the Caribbean. You understand? It's not just in Birmingham, Hockley, you'll find an ISUPK school. We're global. We're all over the world. There's thousands of brothers and sisters in the ISUPK. This is who Christ is dealing with. This is who Christ has redeemed. This is who he's coming back for. Not you fake Israelites, not you Christians, you Muslims, or you Rastafarians. He's coming back for the real people that followed him aforetime and today. And that's the brothers and sisters in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana, period. That's it. That's it. Revelations 22 and 12. Read that, Baba Kashar.
The book of Revelation 22 verse 12. And behold, I came quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his works.
They shall be.
It shall, according to his works, shall be.
Okay, so according to your works, it shall be. So if your works are in that Christian church, in that mosque, your works are going to fade. Your judgment's going to be according to your works. And that's death and destruction. Okay, read that again, Baba Kashar, from the top.
The book of Revelation 22, verse
12.
Verse 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me.
Okay, so here Christ is coming quickly. The time is nigh. The time is near. Hold that. Pause that. Pause that, Baba Kashar. The time is near. The time is nigh. Okay, he's going to come quickly. He's coming like a thief in the night. According to our records, he's coming like a thief in the night. You are not going to know what's coming. You're not going to know the day. You're not going to know the hour. He's just going to appear. Okay, some of our people are going to be amazed, some of us are going to be prepared for it, and that's what this class is about, preparing for the return of our King. The ones of us that are preparing for the return of our King, righteously keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, we're not going to be amazed on that day. We're not going to be confused. We're going to be ready. Do you know that? We're going to be ready because we've prepped ourselves righteously, how we were told to be prepped by our King, Hamashiach Yahushai. So he's going to come quickly, and guess what? He's going to bring that reward with him. What is that reward, Moses? What's the reward that Yahushai is bringing back with him?
The gift of life.
The gift of life, everlasting life. In fact, let's, just to get the right context, yeah, jump up to verse 11. Read it through from verse 11.
Everyone can. The book of Revelation 22 verse 11. He that is unjust.
He that is what?
He that is unjust.
Read.
Let him be unjust still.
Those of us, our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in that Christian church, stay there. If you're not going to listen to this, if you're not going to hearken to the words of Christ, stay there and perish. Read.
Everyone can. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still.
The fornicators, the backbiters, the backstabbers, the adulterers, the dietary law breakers. Read.
Everyone can. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still.
If you're a priest and a prophet, a brother, a sister, a student, an officer, a captain, a general in the ISUPK, this is talking about you. You are the righteous men of the Most High God. You are the soldiers of our King, Yahushai. We are preparing ourselves the right way. Read on.
Can. And he that is holy, let him be holy still.
We're separate. We're separate to all these fake Israelite groups. We are separate to the church, the mosque, Rastafarianism. There's nothing like the ISUPK under the command of General Yohana. And why is there nothing like this, Moses?
Because this is the home of the truth.
Give that a hand. Because this is the home of the truth. Period. Period. There is nothing else to it. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Where are we there?
Revelation 22 verse 12. We're going verse 12.
Okay, yeah, read through verse 12, Baba Kasha.
And behold, I come quickly.
He comes quickly. Yahushai comes quickly. Read.
And my reward is with me.
His reward, everlasting life, is with him. Read.
To give every man according to his works shall be.
Every man according to his works. Preparing yourself for the return of our King. Are you righteous? Have you got patience? Are you keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God? Read on.
Verse 13. I am the Alpha and the Omega.
He is the Alpha and the Omega. Read.
The beginning and the end.
He's the beginning and the end. There's no such thing as an Ishmaelite prophet called Muhammad. Christ is the beginning and the end. There wasn't another ending, another book called the Quran, authorized by a fake Ishmaelite prophet called Muhammad. Read.
The first and the last.
It's a done deal. Muhammad is drowned. He's getting his neck snapped. It's over for you Ishmaelites. You Arabs, you are done. Draw the curtains. It's over. Forget it. Lights out, James Toney. How about that? Muhammad is not the prophet of us. We will never, ever yield to a fake prophet called Muhammad, who is not one of our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're waiting for the return of Jesus Christ, Hamashiach Yahushai in the Hebrew. And it's right there. He's the first and the last. That debunks all Ishmaelite doctrine, all Islamic doctrine. These Muslims are as fake as you get. They're just as fake as the Christians in that church. You got something for us, Moses?
Yes, sir. May I add the other two verses? Just to sum it up?
Come
on. Thank you. Revelation 22 verse 14. We're reading from 12 onwards to 15. So we enter into 13. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. Verse 15 we sum it up. For without are dogs, which is that a 17 nation, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie, which is the other nation, and their false doctrine. That is all lies. That's all pollution of our people's minds. And we need to get up, wash ourselves clean of this filthiness. Because you are in the Christian church, when Christmas comes, they have a Christmas dinner with a Christmas tree in the church.
Right.
You can't tell what else they've been cooking in that Christmas dinner, because if they are wicked enough to have a Christmas in church, then they will cook pork and give them.
That's
they
right.
will cook rabbit give you.
That's
they will
right.
cook crab give you. They
That's
will cook
right.
shrimps and lobster.
Right.
And that is not
Damn right.
what our people are supposed to be digesting. That is for the other nation. So get up, get yourself clean, and come and do your Father's will. Stop doing the will of the devils and the dogs and the whoremongers.
That's right. Give that a hand. Give that a hand. Damn right. Damn right. Drop that for me. Give me Revelation 21 and 2. Let's have a look at John's vision.
The book of Revelation 21 verse 2. And I, John, saw the holy city. So
here, John the Baptist is having Salakia. Yeah, John the Revelator, Salakia, not John the Baptist. John the Revelator is having a vision. What's he having a vision of? This is the records of the last days. Okay, and we're preparing for this. We're preparing for the last days. When we talk about preparing for the return of our King, or preparing for the return of Christ, okay, as the world ignorantly knows him, okay, we're talking about the book of Revelation, okay. This, you do well to read the book of Revelation and study it and get the breakdowns from in the ISUPK of the book of Revelation, because this is touching on the last days. This book is preparing us. It's a revelation. It's revealing the last days. And this is how we prepare for the return of our King, because the return of our King is only going to occur in that last day, that last hour. We're not going to see him before that. Okay, so read on.
A new Jerusalem coming down from God.
What?
A new Jerusalem coming down from God.
And this is what we have been preparing for Israel. Exactly this. Is there any? Where are you, Mosa?
That's verse 2 and third from the last line.
Okay, read the rest of verse 2, Baba Kasha.
Coming from our God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
And how does a bride look on her wedding day?
Glamorous.
Glorious, glamorous, stunning, beautiful. That's how this last day is going to be. When we see the new kingdom coming down, it's not going to be full of litter and garbage bins spilt everywhere and alcoholics walking up and down. It's going to be a glorious sight. It's going to be beautiful, like a bride prepared for a wedding day. It's going to be stunning and beautiful. It's going to be truly glorious. Read on.
Verse 3.
Salakia, you jump to verse 4.
Verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears.
What will God do?
Wipe away all tears from their eyes.
He'll wipe away all tears from their eyes. Read on.
And there shall be no more death.
No more what?
Death.
Read.
Neither sorrows.
Read.
Nor crying.
Read on.
Neither shall there be any more pain.
Wow. No more pain. No more suffering. No more heartache. Is this not a vision of glory, true glory?
In its immaculate form.
We see a hint of this in the Passover. Our feast days are truly glorious. You know, Christmas, Easter, Valentine's. I am miserable as sin. I am miserable as hell on these days. I'm watching everybody party and I'm thinking, how dare you? How dare you come with these filthy fake feast days? But you know, on the Passover, on the Feast of First Fruits, the Day of Atonement, Tabernacles, the blowing of trumpets, even our memorials, the Feast of Dedication, Purim, you're just filled with joy. These are the real glorious times, what we live for, what we engage in and glorify, because they're truly glorious. Can you imagine this? If our feast days are that glorious, imagine how glorious this is going to be, Mozart. Can you imagine?
On a global scale, because what we do is a small thing, that will be on a global scale. The other nation will be reveling in their tears.
My
just
God.
to see how a thing coming through.
My God. Read that again, Baba Kashaf, verse 4.
Revelation 21, verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death.
There will be no more Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women aborting their goddamn babies. There'll be no more black on black crime. Israelite youths in London stabbing their one another. Bloods and Crips shooting and killing each other. Turf wars. Drug wars. Money wars. There will be no more black on black crime. Hispanic on Hispanic crime. Native on native crime. Native on black crime. Black on native crime. Hispanic on native crime. Hispanic on black crime. It will all be over. There'll be no more pain. There'll be no more suffering. There'll be no more crying. Read on.
And there shall be no more death, neither sorrows nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
The former things are passed away. Jump down to verse 12, Baba Kashar. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the vision of John. Okay, this is what we're really preparing for. Okay, so because what are we faced with in this wicked kingdom? Pain, suffering, disease, death. You know, it's just endless. The list of wickedness and evilness in this kingdom, as we know it, is endless. It goes on and on and on for our people, while all the other kingdoms appear to be in heaven. Slakia, all the other nations appear to be in heaven. This is no heaven for our beloved Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in all the impoverished areas around the world, living in all the ghettos. And you could be misinformed to come from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and think that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians living in the UK are living a luxurious life. Here is some of the worst conditions you'll ever see. Because here we have to put up with more nonsense than the average, because we've got every goddamn nation living in and amongst and around us, and they're all on top of us. Do you understand? In some of these nations around the world, you've only got to contend with one group that are higher or above you, maybe two. But in the UK, how many of these nations have come here after the Windrush, after the people of the Windrush, and are above the people of the Windrush?
Every nation.
Every single nation.
Every
from Esau to Elam to Moab to Ham. And we have to stomach this, and why we're living in all the impoverished areas up and down in the UK. Read on, Baba Kashar.
The book of Revelation 21, verse 12. And at a wall great and high, and at 12 gates.
Okay, so John the Revelator is in his vision. This is the last day. The new kingdom, the new Jerusalem is being brought back by our King, who we're preparing for the return of. He's coming back. He's bringing back the new kingdom, the new Jerusalem, and John the Revelator can see it. And in his vision, there's what? Read on.
And at the gates, 12 angels.
12 bouncers. There's 12 gates. There's a wall. There's 12 gates and there's 12 bouncers. And guess what? If your name's not down, you're not coming in. You understand that part? If your name's not down, you are not welcome.
That's right.
And you will be coming in, but not how you think you're coming in on a high. You're coming in on a low. Read on.
And names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Read that again.
And names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
So there's 12 gates, there's 12 bouncers, angels. Okay, you're not going to get in unless you're in the ISUPK under the command of General Yohanan, one of the priests and prophets of the Most High God. You're a righteous brother. You've kept these laws, statutes, and commandments. You're from one of the 12 tribes. But what do we learn in that Christian church?
Not to keep the law.
No, there's not 12 gates in the Christian church. There's one pearly gate where all 18 nations are walking through, hand in hand. Come by our, my Lord. Where the hell is that in our records? Can somebody tell me, please? Read that again, Baba Kashar.
The book of Revelation 21.
Listen good, you Christians. Listen good, because there's not one pearly gate. There's no records of that. There's 12 gates to heaven. Read.
The book of Revelation 21, verse 12. And at a wall great and high, and at 12 gates, and at the 12 gates, 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
It's a done deal. There's no room for our beloved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians if you're stuck up in that church or that mosque. It's over for you. It's over. I wanted to bring out 13 and 14, but drop it because I want to get in Psalms 19 and 11 as the last precept. We're 2 minutes over, 3 minutes over. Right. So this will be the last precept. Yeah, don't worry. We're going to start finishing on time. We go over too much, and we're going to get corrected for this. So let's try and start finishing on time. But better still, let's starting on time. Salakia Israel. Psalms 19 and 11.
The book of Psalms 19, verse 11. Moreover, by them is thy servant warned, and in keeping of them that is greater reward.
Okay, read that again.
One more time.
The book of
Psalms, verse 19, verse 11. Moreover, by them is thy servants warned.
Okay, so moreover, by them is thy servant warned. Read on and then we'll break it down.
And in keeping of them there is greater reward.
Okay, so moreover, by them. Who is them?
The 12 tribes.
Who's given us what we need to prepare ourselves for the return of our King? Read. Yes, the prophets. Read.
Verse 13. Keep back
No. 11. We're on 11. Verse 11.
Okay. Verse 11. Moreover, by them is thy servant warned.
So the servants being us. We're the priests and prophets of aforetime. We're the new version of the priests and prophets from aforetime, living today in these last days, teaching the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High God, as we was taught through Hamashiach Yahushai, Jesus the Christ. Read.
And in keeping of them there is great reward.
Okay, and what is that reward?
Life forevermore.
Eternal life. And it's right here in Psalms 19 and 11. So if you want to know how to prepare for the return of our King, it's again and again and again through all 80 books. It's not difficult, Israel. But you are not going to learn this in that Christian church or that Islamic mosque. And you're certainly not going to learn it from our Rastafarian elders who are going to take you out of Israel and into Africa, a place that we, neither our children knew. None of our generations, apart from the generational period from 2,000 years ago up until 500 years ago, when the start of the transatlantic slave trade commenced, the beginning of the transatlantic slave trade. You got something for us, Mosar, before we finish?
Only thing you will learn in this Christian church and in these house of Satan is to throw your money, pay them to tell you lies. That's the only thing you learn in there, and to learn not to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments. That's a dreadful and wicked house to be in. A dreadful and wicked house to be in.
So now we know what we need to do to prepare ourselves for the return of our King. Yeah, and that, just to summarize, that is patience, meekness, humbleness, when we're keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. You cannot be patient or humble and not keeping the laws of the Most High God. You must be keeping the laws of the Most High God, but you must do it with patience, and don't rumble his anger or stir his wrath by questioning him or putting him on a timer. That's not for you, Israel. That is not for you. And with that, I'm going to call the class. Okay, clap it up. I'm going to hand the class over to Officer Mosar for the security announcements.
This is the security announcement. The security announcement of the ISUPK and security announcement. We are the ISUPK out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for the brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves off the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 verse 21. Malachi 3 verse 8 to 10 means tithes in the Hebrew, Mahashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord give you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will mandatory for priests. Free offering for priests, not mandatory. Whosoever among you would like upcoming holy convocation announcement, holy convocation.
Holy convocations. That will the last day. Okay, so the first day of Feast Fruits started on the 25th of April, I believe, and you count 50 days from the 28th of April, which will take us to the 17th of June, which will be a holy convocation. This is a law, the Feast of First Fruits. That's our next feast day. The 17th of June will be the 50th day of the Feast of First Fruits, and that's a holy convocation, a Sabbath to the Most High God. We will be gathered here at 394 Lodge Road, Hockley, Birmingham, for that feast day, and we'll be holding it right here in the school. Salakia.
Okay. Remind Akim and Akiapat to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, hairband, and scarf. And with that,
Men of Israel, I'm Madiam.
men of Israel, Amadiam,
Which means stand.
which means stance, Amadiam Shabbat.
We're going to give the teacher one courtesy salute.
We're going to give the teacher one courtesy salute.
Men of Israel, I'm Madiam.
Man of Israel, Amadiam. Amadiam Shabbat. Amadiam. Barak. Yahweh. Yahweh Bashem Yahshai Barakatam.
Barakatah.
Barakatam.
Yahweh Shim Yahshai Barakatam.
With that, please say class dismiss.
Yad Yamata.
Yad Yamata. Class dismiss.
In the stream also.
You need to get that right now.